What's going on, guys? Late night, 5 a.m. on the way home from work. Just going to talk about the games today. Two really, really bad games, in my opinion. I hate the Patriots. I hate the fact that they won today. I hate Gronkowski. I hate Tom Brady. I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate everyone. Quick thoughts. Kansas City and New England both played horrible today, I think, in my personal opinion, from what they are, but a lot of injuries on each side. The fact that Gronkowski was hurt and he's still beast moded sucks. I hate that about him. Kansas City had that game, but Macklin being out, Kansas City's run game was not there either. Just a horrible game, and I kind of wish that New England lost, but Tom Brady is so good in the playoffs, and everyone seems to forget that, even if he has all beat up guys and guys that aren't good. I mean, Edelman dropped like 13 passes. Amendola cries about everything. Tom Brady cries about everything. Tom Brady gets a little hit, and they call roughing the passer. Unbelievable. Stupid penalties were called. Unreal. The fact that whoever, it was either Amendola or Edelman, I think it was Amendola, had a horrible head collision hit and was not kicked out of the game, sucks. I think that's complete nonsense, and the fact that other teams get that penalty and they get fined, I really hope he gets fined up the wazoo. But anyway, whatever. Kansas City loses. Now our coach can actually come coach that we hired. And Doug Peterson, who knows? Maybe he'll take this loss and hopefully he doesn't bring it over to the Eagles. Anyway, Green Bay, Arizona, another horrible game. Arizona's offense was absolutely atrocious in the first half. So was Green Bay. Eddie Lacy had a couple good runs. Larry Fitzgerald speaks for himself. He needs a ring. I think he only had 11 yards in the first half, and then the second half in overtime he goes for like 178 or something in the game winning catch or something. A lot of things have to be addressed in that game too. The coin toss, it was actually just a coin. Throw the coin in the air and don't have it tossed at all. Botched as heck, but a lot of people had Green Bay winning this game, and I could see why. Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, he's amazing. Randall Cobb got hurt though early. Jeff Janis was an animal. He had a lot of catches. Eddie Lacy didn't run obviously well, which sucks because he's a really, really good player. Just, he's not the Eddie Lacy of a couple of years ago, and it shows. Obviously, Carson Palmer, he needs something. He's got to win something. He's a great quarterback. John Brown's, he's awesome. He was on my fantasy team. He did pretty good for me this year. Obviously, Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd with an unbelievable catch in the end zone, and still somehow managed to win that game out. So that's pretty cool. I liked Arizona anyway in that game, but you can't count Green Bay out at all. So now Arizona has to play New England next week, so that'll be a pretty good game, depending on if everyone's healthy or not. I still am picking Arizona to win that game. I just don't think that Tom Brady has enough in his tank, and I just don't think that, they have Gronk and Edelman and Amendola and stuff, but I just think Carson Palmer has too many weapons on the offensive side, and New England's defense is not really that good, hence Miracle Ball in the Super Bowl last year. So we'll see how that game plays out. So also got today's games, Carolina and Seattle, and then Denver and Pittsburgh. Going to be two really, really good games. I'm picking Carolina in this game because Carolina's an animal this year, and I don't think they're going to slow down for anything. But like I said, a lot of injuries on both sides again. Olsen's, he's hurt, but he's still going to play, obviously. I think I don't really know many of the guys that are really banged up. I just know there's a lot of injured players. And I think Cam Newton's going to be the factor in this game. I think he's going to be running all over the place. He's going to have to. Seattle almost beat them in the regular season, so Seattle's a much better team now than they were, I think, in week 4 or week 5 when they played. And Seattle, I don't know if Marshawn's playing. A lot of people say he might not play, but there's some. I think if he's questionable or probable, he will play. It's a playoff game, and Marshawn Lynch is their workhorse. He's the one that's going to be. He's the one. He's their offense. I mean, I know Russell Westbrook's great, and Doug Baldwin's an animal this year, but Marshawn Lynch is going to be the guy this year. Well, this game at least. But like I said, I see Greg Olsen. I mean, Seattle has a tough time guarding tight ends, and Greg Olsen's a great tight end. So I see Carolina going into this game, and they have to score early. That's the main thing, because you can't let Seattle sit around. Because once it's the fourth quarter, man, you know, Seattle knows playoffs. They know how to play in the playoffs. Look at last year, man. I mean, look at this year. You know, they're the 6th seed, and you know they got to win a lot of road games to get to the Super Bowl. But you know, you never know. It's playoff time. Anything can happen. And the next game, Denver and Pittsburgh. A lot of people are out for Pittsburgh. Big Ben hurt. He's going to be playing with one arm, pretty much. And Antonio Brown hurt. That's horrible. And D'Angelo Williams hurt bad. Le'Veon Bell hurt. Like, they have literally no run game. They're going to have to really, really rely on Martavius Bryant and all these secondary wide receivers that don't get as many passes thrown to them, like Martavius Bryant, Antonio Brown, and Big Ben's good. He's hurting, man. He might not be able to throw. He might not be able to drive his foot. So a lot of people are going to rely on the run game. But when D'Angelo Williams and Bell's out, it's going to be really tough for them. And on the other side of the ball, we don't even know what Denver's going to show up with. You know, obviously Peyton Manning's going to play. Osweiler is out. I think he tore his shoulder ligament in the Week 16 game. And obviously Denver's D is the reason why they're anywhere this year. Look at the first 5 games. They're 5-0 because of the D. Not because of Peyton Manning, and not because of anything else. Not because of their offense at all. Denver's D is just crazy with all those guys on that side of the field. So Big Ben's really going to have to watch out, because they're going to be going after him when they know he's hurt. They know he's hurt and he's going to play. So I see, I don't know. It's going to be a tough game, but depending on how well Big Ben plays, they could win this game if they rely heavily on Martavius Bryant like they did last game. And but honestly, I picked Denver winning this game because of their defense. I feel like their defense is going to force a lot of fumbles, and Peyton Manning might have looked great in his return, or whatever they want to call it, his triumphant fourth quarter return, where honestly it was all C.J. Anderson and Demaryius Thomas. So, I mean, the guy was 5 for 5, but he didn't throw anything over 30 yards. So he's obviously not the Peyton Manning when he was on Indianapolis. So I believe Denver's going to win that game. It's not going to be it can be it can be a shootout, which I don't think it will be. It can come down. I think it's going to come down to a field goal, or within a 5 to 10 point swing in Denver's favor. So the 4 teams going in are going to, next week, I think it's going to be, like I said, New England Patriots versus Arizona, and then the Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers. And it's going to be a good 4 games, or a good 2 games, excuse me. Really tired. It's going to be a good 2 games next week, but we got to get through these. And now that the Kansas City Chiefs are lost, hopefully Doug Peterson can say his goodbyes to Andy Reid and the Kansas City offense, and pack his stuff, come on over to Lincoln Financial, hang out with Jeff Lurie, and hopefully fire Billy Davis so we can get a good defensive coordinator in there. Clear his desk, clear Chip's desk, put his stuff on there, start grinding. Free agency's coming. Got to sign. I feel like we need to sign a lot of guys back in our roster. Everyone's talking about Michael Kendricks being overhyped and Kiko Alonso. These guys are injury-ridden, obviously, but they're really good players in my opinion. And I think we need them both next year. I think we need to re-sign a lot of our players. Our secondary obviously is hurting, but guys like Walter Thurman and Jalen Watkins and Rowe and all these young players. I feel like we need to get them again because our defense wasn't that bad this year. It's just we had games where we showed up and games where we didn't. And my opinion is that the fact that they didn't want to play because of what Chip Kelly, all the nonsense was going on with him or whatever. But we'll see what happens in that situation. But Doug Peterson, get in there, do your grind, man. Grind out. Get Philly where it needs to be. Start early. Get your guys in early. OTAs, man. Get them. Have a team. In my opinion, have a team meeting. Sit them down and say, this is a new year. This is our team now. This isn't Chip Kelly's team. We're going to slow down our offense. Explain to them that this is going to. You've been here before, Doug. You know what you're doing. You've done it 1,000 times when you played for us. You've done it when you played on Philadelphia as our quarterback, and you know the people of Philly, and we know that you've been there. But you obviously haven't proven yourself because you were never anything better than a quality control coach for us. So let's see what you can do. I have high hopes for you. We have to have high hopes for you because there's nothing else we can do. So get our guys in there. Go after a quarterback in the draft. Go after defensive guys in the draft. Please trade for some wide receivers this year, guys. I love our wide receiver core, but we're not experienced enough. Jordy Matthews, Riley Cooper, and Aguilar are just not going to cut it. We need, and the two tight end thing. I love Ertz, and I love, God, what the hell is his name? Well, I forgot. I'm totally drawing a blank on the other tight end we have. But anyway, Ertz obviously is the one that gets the most. And so let's go out there and get our grind on and do what we have to do. So hopefully the rest of these playoff games won't suck like they have been. These playoffs this year have been horrible. I think the only game that was even worth mentioning was the Green Bay game last week. And I think the game of the week tomorrow, I think, is going to be the Seattle-Carolina game. I think it's going to be an excellent game, hard-fought game, and whoever wins that game, I feel like whoever wins out of Carolina and Seattle will be going to the Super Bowl. And but my predictions are Carolina and Arizona, and it's been like that since I've seen them both play in like week 5 or 6. So let's see what happens. But hey, let's go Birds for the 2016 season.